Daniel Penny has been fully acquitted. Here's the thing that was kind of interesting is that he was originally just acquitted of the manslaughter charges. And the thing that I noticed is that conservative media went absolutely nuts and started to have all these theories that they were like they're trying to get the jury, they're basically like rigging the jury to charge him with a lesser charge. And I was originally saying, like, let this play out because I posted that he was acquitted of the manslaughter charges. And people were like, but don't celebrate because they're going to charge him with something else. And actually, that guy you were on his podcast, I'm trying to remember his name.
When was it?
See, this is why it'd be great if I had
Andre,
the
Andre,
I
Sir
think so. Yeah, yeah, it was him. It was him.
Andre.
He was actually tweeting me because he was saying they're going to get him on a lesser charge. This is New York. And I said like this is good that he's acquitted of the manslaughter. Let this play out.
Yeah,
And then in the few days after that, which you let it play out, he was fully acquitted, which is great and he should have been fully acquitted. I don't think it's wrong that it went to trial. Someone lost their life. Like, should it have been drawn out as long as it did? No. But
no,
I
no.
understand it going to trial, and I fully understand him getting fully acquitted. But anyway, Andre, yeah, tweeted us back at Battleline Pod on X, and he was like, "You were right on this." And I just, you know what I think it is? I think oftentimes, even conservatives, because of maybe some of the stuff that happened with Trump, have this like perpetual I don't want to say it's like victimhood, but a
Yeah,
perpetual like idea that the justice system is never going to work in our favor and it's always rigged against us. And it's like this paranoia. And I think you just got to look at these cases individually. Like, yes, I know it's New York, but that doesn't mean that he's not going to be acquitted. Like, let this play out. And it played out the way it should have. And I didn't think there was some big conspiracy theory. I think the jury voted the same way I would have. It was fully clear to me. It certainly was not a race issue when you have black
no.
passengers who were helping out Daniel Penny and restraining him. I feel for the fact that a man's life was lost, of course, but I think he did the right thing in that situation.
I, you guys all know that listen to the show know how I feel about it. He should have been acquitted from the get-go, in my opinion. From seeing what I saw and just watching when I wasn't living under a rock and I did watch videos in the news. Um, no, I'm in complete agreement, and I'm happy. I'm glad that he was, and it shows that there is still we should still have some faith in the justice system. I believe that. And I know on the other side are saying the exact different. They're saying, this is a race issue. It's not at all. Some disturbed individual, boy, man, whatever you want to say, was threatening people's lives on the subway, and a person stood up to that. Do I think he intentionally? No, choked him out. I know what the rear naked choke is. That's what he did on him. Did he? No, I don't think he did. Just watching it. But you also don't let go. When you're in that, if you've never been in that position on the ground fighting, if you never have, shut the hell up. Because when you are in that position, in that rear naked, you don't want to let go. Because if you let go, you just lost your advantage and that person will turn on you. And if they turn on you on the ground, now you're on your back. And if you don't know how to fight on your back, and even if you do, and that person has a weapon, you're screwed. So once you're there, well, Daniel Penny he was there. He wasn't going to let go. You're like an anaconda. And I agree with that. I've been in that position. You don't let go. You stay right there till help comes to grab that other person's hands. And if no help ever comes, then you stay right there until it does, because it's going to come eventually. And I kind of fault the passengers, like, dude, help him out, man.
Which
Grab
some
that
of them did,
person.
though. Some of them did.
One that did testify for him. And it
I mean,
was
I
an
just know
Afro.
from the video that
It was an Afro.
there was the
Yeah, it was
other,
an
yeah,
Afro.
black passenger who, yeah.
Yeah, it was. It was the black pastor that did help out, and
Yeah.
he actually testified for him. He said, "I'm glad he did something." Um, but I hated that. I mean, he knew what he was doing. Oh, it was a chokehold that's used to kill. No, it's not. It's actually used to restrain. It's used to hold. It's used to maintain control, so your buddies can put flex cuffs on that bad guy, on the terrorist or whoever it is. But can it go sideways? Sure, because you are putting pressure on your carotid and the jugular, and you're putting pressure on your esophagus here.
And if I remember correctly, which once again, I'm doing this on the fly. I may have my facts wrong. I believe he died in the hospital. He
He
didn't
did.
die on the sun. Yeah, so
No.
that's a huge difference. You didn't intentionally kill him if he was alive by the
And
time they reprimanded him. So
can you do that from a rear naked? Sure, you can. You can if you turn hard enough, or you just cut off the airflow or
again,
cut.
that's not what happened.
But
So
that's not what happened. And from someone, and I am not a jujitsu master, guys. Have I been through a lot? Sure, I've been lucky enough to be trained by some wonderful people, and I've been lucky enough to be choked out by a bunch of people doing that to me. I know how it feels, and it takes a lot to kill. It does. I don't care unless you've got arms the size of the rock or little spindly arms that you can sneak right up in there, which is almost like a knife. It's not easy to kill somebody that way by just choking them out and cutting off their airflow. But can you render a person unconscious? Sure, you can, because you're cutting off blood flow, jugular and the carotid, and you are cutting off some airflow if you get in the right spot there on your esophagus or your throat. So, but from what I saw, he did just what he was supposed to. He did what we get trained in the military, but we also have teammates. So get that guy down, rear naked, control him so he can't hurt anybody else. But you don't let go. Once you let go, you've just lost the advantage, and all that person has to do. And it's happened to me before in training, because I let go, and the dude spun on me, and bam, and like, whoa, okay, that was wrong. What if that would have been a knife? What if he would have had an edge weapon as he spun on me and tried to stick me? So, yeah, but I am in agreement. I never thought it was from the videos that it was malicious, that he intended to kill him. He did what he was trained to do, and that was to immobilize and restrain until help came. And that's what we all are in the military trained to do at a point until our lives are even at more threat. And it wasn't. He stopped. He could have gone to even a higher level, and he didn't. And I'm in complete agreement, man. I'm glad he got let off. I don't think it exposed. I don't think it. I don't think it will lead to vigilantism from people. I don't. I do think that it did, and that's what I said on our last show. If somebody's hurting and somebody needs help, I'm going to have second thoughts of helping that person, because I don't want to go to prison for helping that person. But with what this has happened now, and seeing him being that we do have a precedent to it now. Sure, now I'm more likely, not that I wouldn't help, but now I'm less likely to second guess it and thinking, oh man, I'm going to go to prison if I go help this person.
although
Now
you
it's,
haven't been to New York in 5 years,
yeah, that's
so
true. That's true. That's true.
and
That's
you
true.
and actually you don't even go
That's
on the
true.
subway, do you?
Well, I'm just saying in general. Does it
But
have
do
to be a
you?
subway?
Do you go on the subway?
I've been on the subway. The last time I was in New York City, I was on the subway with
Okay.
Drew. With Drew, because he
No,
rode the
that wasn't the
subway.
last time. The last time we were in the city, we recorded a podcast.
Well, I didn't go on the subway then. It was with
Okay.
Drew. No, it's been a long time.
Yeah.
No, actually, I enjoyed it. I didn't mind. It was kind of
No, but
cool
I just
when
mean that
once you.
you'd have to be on a subway in New York City to be in that position and to have to be thinking about the local government laws,
No,
which actually plays into the fact that Eric Adams, the mayor, did come out and defended
I
Penny.
saw that.
You
I
know,
saw it.
so
Yeah,
and Adams has also even said that he doesn't rule out running as a Republican at some point, and I feel like that's because the Democrats have really forced out anyone who like thinks
yeah,
to the contrary on anything. You know,
yeah.
this includes that we have a governor who's basically said that if you come into the country illegally, we're going to give you a prepaid debit card, we're going to give you a hotel, we're going
I
to
heard.
just do everything for you. And Adams has been like, no, we can't have more of this. And then suddenly, after Eric Adams said that, they're saying he has corruption charges against him. And the corruption charges, once again, I don't have all my prep on me, but always seem to be like minor, really minor things. Like I don't think they have him on any major corruption. I think he's a guy just going against the system in some way. And when they say that, the party kind of comes after you. But anyway, I am glad that Penny was acquitted. I would love to have him on the podcast. Like,
Yeah,
truthfully, I'm not going to be one of these people who's like, I don't know if he's doing interviews, and I think the guy should probably enjoy some
he did.
time away
He
from.
did one with
Yeah, I didn't even know
Judge
that. Okay,
with Judge. I saw it
Shadeen.
on. Yeah, I saw actually. When I do turn on my computer, the first thing that pops up is the Fox News. It does the front page of it, and it was on there. I didn't read it. I clicked off
But
because
he
I had
did an
work.
actual interview with her,
Yeah,
like
I
in
sat
person.
down with her.
Okay.
Yeah, it was on the front page. You know, it had you could play it and watch it, and
I
but I
mean, as
didn't
long as
watch it.
he'd be down to do it, I would want to have him on, and hear it firsthand. But I hope he could get his life back to whatever he was doing, which I personally don't know. Because I think a lot of these guys, you just become like a media figure,
Yeah,
and I don't know if that's really the best thing to happen
No,
immediately after. Like, I think
no.
he should at least have some time to just enjoy whatever he does in life. I don't know his family situation or any of that, but I think it would make sense to probably have a little bit of time to just enjoy and then maybe talk about this stuff in the
Yeah,
press. So if he'd be
I
down
agree
to
with
come
you.
on, though, I'd
Oh,
certainly be open to it.
well, we support him, and I, being a
Yeah.
Marine, being a former Marine as well, or Marine, you guys, I guess, I know you guys are never former, you sons of bitches. Um, yeah, I'd love to have him on to talk about anything, and I do support what he did. I've done from the get-go. I know he did the right thing, and it's not easy to do that, especially, because you are risking your life. For others that you don't know, and he still upheld those values of standing for others' lives, even if you don't know them or not, even risky and the risk of your own. And then he paid for it, and he paid for it with how long was he imprisoned for, or was he?
Yeah, I don't know. This is
I mean,
once again why it would
well,
be good if I had all the notes I
I
need,
know,
but I do know we've been
yeah,
talking about this situation for about 2 years because I
he
remember
did
the
the right
last
thing.
time we spoke about it, I was over at my parents' house and I've been in this apartment since May of 2023. So yeah.
He did the right thing, and he lost a portion of his life because of it, and that's horse shit. Um, and yeah, it'll probably always be on his head. It will always be in his mind. That's just normal. You wouldn't be a good person if you didn't think about it. If you've taken somebody's life and it just happened to push it away, it's always going to be there because I'm sure he's a good person. I don't know him, but I'm assuming he is for the way he acted and the way he handled himself as well. After he wasn't venomous, he wasn't extremely outspoken. He wasn't saying, at least I didn't see it. Granted, like I said, I've been living under a rock for a while, but I didn't see that he was saying the system is broken. In fact, I didn't hear him say much at all.
I
Or
haven't
there weren't
watched enough
reports.
really. I mean, I've seen the coverage of it, but I can't say I've seen
Well,
much.
I haven't. Granted, I'm not. And you know, if he had, then maybe I'd be thinking different. But I think that says a lot about his character. Man, that much restraint when you're wrongfully accused, then you're being imprisoned for trying to help somebody,
But that could also
help a
just
lot
be
of people.
lawyers saying don't say anything, which is
Well,
probably what they told him to
well,
do.
that doesn't mean you're going to. Ask Alex Jones.
Yeah.
I love you, Alex, man. I'm just fucking with you, man. But he still didn't, and it just says to me a lot about his character. How he conducted himself up to this point after, to me, is more impressive than even just the act of what he did, and that's amazing to me because that'd be hard to do. Man, you're losing your life. You've done the right thing. You've given your life for somebody, and now somebody's coming after you, or you're getting thrown in prison and say, no, you shouldn't have killed that crackhead, drug drugged out person that was threatening everybody on the subway. You're the bad guy. Guess what? You're going to prison, and to not even just go not just be outspoken one time. Wow. That shows a lot of moral courage to me. And that's impressive. That's what I'd love to have him on the show about. I mean, I'd love to talk about what happened, but just like, man, how did you do that? Can you tell our listeners how to do that when something has gone wrong in their lives and they just want to lash out like we all do? You didn't. And then you may come back and say, well, the lawyers told me not to.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
my
okay.
guess. I got to be honest. I kind of maybe I just view it differently than you because
No,
I
you
could
might.
picture the lawyers being like,
Yeah.
"Hey, anything you say is going to get turned
Right.
in the wrong direction, and we're trying to get you off on all charges." And whatever they did was successful because he was. But I think he should have been regardless, no matter
Yeah.
who the lawyers were.
No, you're
But
probably right. I
but
still would love to
congrats to
ask him.
him. Yeah, no, congrats to him. I would definitely love to interview him at some point. I mean, being that I assume he's a local New Yorker, I mean, it would be cool to get him in, like the Team House studio and I'd love to meet him. That'd be cool. But yeah, maybe at some point. Thanks for checking out Battle Line Podcast. This is just a smaller clip from our latest episode, which you can check out in its entirety by clicking here. While you're watching, be sure to hit the subscribe button and thumbs up the video to show your support. Now, if you'd really like to help us out, click the thanks button below to make a donation. It goes directly to us in keeping Battle Line Podcast going for you.